I always thought ghost stories were ridiculous. The blonde in the bathroom, really? As if. But that night, I was bored and home alone. My parents had gone on a trip, and I was binge-watching horror movies with the lights off. That's when I remembered the old story we used to tell at school. If you say blonde in the bathroom 3 times in front of the mirror at 3 a.m, she appears. I laughed. Decided to try it. I lit a candle, went to the upstairs bathroom, the oldest one in the house. I closed the door, stared into the mirror, the flame flickering behind me. My heart beat a little faster, but I continued. Blonde in the bathroom, blonde in the bathroom, blonde in the bathroom. I waited. 1 second. 2. Nothing. I rolled my eyes. Of course nothing happened. I blew out the candle, and that's when I heard it. A soft scratching like fingernails dragging across wood. I froze. I flipped the light switch. Nothing. Total darkness. I looked back at the mirror, and something was wrong. My eyes, or rather the eyes in the reflection, were red. And then she appeared, from inside the mirror. Pale skin, dripping wet blonde hair, lifeless eyes. She smiled, wide, far too wide. I screamed, spun around, slammed into the wall, tried to open the door. Locked. But I didn't lock it. The light flickered once. I turned back to the mirror. The reflection was gone. There was only one thing written on the fog glass. Now you see me from outside, but I see you from within. I never look in mirrors after dark anymore. At my school, the second-floor bathroom was practically abandoned. The teachers said it was because of a leak, but everyone knew the real reason. The blonde in the bathroom. They said a student had died there, locked inside stall 3, after being brutally bullied. No one knew all the details, but one thing was clear. No one ever used stall 3. Ever. That Friday, after PE class, I ran to the bathroom. The one downstairs was packed, so I decided to take a chance. As soon as I stepped into the second floor one, I felt it. The cold. The air was different. Heavy. Still. All the stall doors were closed, except for stall 3. I went in, closed the door, sat down. That's when I heard it. 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. From the stall next to mine. Is someone there? I asked. Nothing. Silence. I finished up, but just as I reached for the door, knock, knock, knock. But this time, on my door. My blood ran cold. I looked under the stall door and saw nothing. No feet, no shadow. And then I heard her voice, a whisper, hoarse, feminine. Will you forget me too? The door creaked open on its own. I ran. Days later, a janitor said they found an old photograph in the drain of stall 3. It was a girl, smiling, wearing an outdated school uniform. On the back, handwritten, no one saw me. No one heard me. It was her. And ever since that day, whenever I pass that hallway, I hear the knocking. I worked as a janitor at a public school in a small town. The old wing had been shut down, but I still had to clean there from time to time. People said the girls' bathroom was cursed. They said a blonde girl had died there, drowned in her own blood, that she would appear whenever someone tried to clean too much in that place. Nonsense, I thought. That Monday, I went in with my bucket and mop. The bathroom was dark, lights flickering, a strong smell of mold and rust in the air. I started scrubbing the floor, like I always did. That's when I noticed something. The sound of the water wasn't normal. It sounded thicker. I looked into the bucket. It was blood. The mop was soaked in blood. I backed away, heart racing. I looked at the mirror, and there she was, Pale skin, wet blonde hair, eyes black like coal, and her mouth, wide open, endless, pouring blood. She screamed, but not with sound. She screamed with pain, with everything she had suffered. The bathroom walls began to bleed. The mirror shattered. The door slammed shut behind me. I must have fainted. When I woke up, I was outside. But my clothes were wet. To this day, I don't know if it was real. But no one ever goes in there anymore. And that bathroom, it never dries completely again. I'm a skeptic. A history student fascinated by urban legends, I decided to test the most famous one, the blonde in the bathroom. But I did it methodically. I followed the old tradition exactly as told. Light a candle, lock the bathroom door, spin 3 times, knock, and call her name. On the first night, nothing happened. On the second, the candle went out by itself. On the third, she came. After the third call, silence took over. I felt a chill crawl up my spine. I looked at the mirror. It was fogged, as if someone had breathed right against the glass. And then I saw the writing, blow out the candle and see. My heart was racing. The candle was trembling. I didn't want to, but I blew it out. Darkness took everything. And then I felt it, cold hands on my neck. I couldn't see anything, but I heard a whisper so close, I could feel the rotten breath in my ear. Now we are 2. I woke up in the hospital. They said I had fainted right there. I was found holding the melted candle with finger marks around my neck. But the worst part? Since that night, I can never see my full reflection in the mirror. My face is always missing. This is the story I've never told anyone I studied at a convent school. Everything was strict and cold. Once, I punished a cruel classmate who had locked me inside the bathroom. She said the blonde in the bathroom lived there, and if I stayed long enough, she would come for me. I stayed in there for hours, alone. Then I started hearing it. Scratching sounds on the wall. I thought it was the pipes, but the sound was coming from inside. From inside the wall, behind the sink. I pressed my ear against it. And then a fingernail broke through the plaster. A human fingernail, I screamed. The nail pulled back. The wall shook. And a thin, cracked voice, like someone choking, said to me, "They took me out of here. But I still hear everything. Since that day, I avoid public restrooms. But sometimes, when I'm home alone and everything is completely quiet, I hear scratching behind the wall by the sink. She's in every bathroom now, waiting.